Hello, boys. This is White Pill Media, and welcome back to the Trough. I know I promised, I said this video would be out like Tuesday or Wednesday, and I gotta say, if you've been with the channel for a while, if you really believe that, I got a vaccine to sell you. Anyways, sorry for the delay, but to make up for it, this video was originally just going to be Aegeon 7 and 8, but since I was holding back, I decided I was going to add a third book. This is Strife and Sublimity. This is a collection of short stories by V.H. Witt. I don't know this guy super well. He's someone that looks like he's an artist for this game coming out, The Great Rebellion. I might cover it. I think I will cover that when it does come out. He seems to be an artist with that, and he had a collection of short stories that came out recently, and they're just like 9 little short stories. They're like Germanic and like Slavic, kind of Russian. So I want to cover those. I like those. All 3 of these are recommendations. And yeah, we got Aegeon 7 and 8, and then Strife and Sublimity. So all 3 of these are anthologies. Strife and Sublimity, they're more of like folklore, folk tale stories. They're a little darker. They're not gruesome. They're good. And I'll list out my favorite ones when I cover that. I think I'll probably cover that last. And then Aegeon, if you've followed this channel ever, you know I've covered all of the Aegeons, and they're just a sci-fi anthology that I really like. You know, a lot of good writers in there, good artists. So we're just going to hop right in. I'm going to talk about my favorite stories. There's going to be spoilers, you know, so I'd recommend just stopping, going, checking out these books before going ahead. I'm going to have timestamps down below and then links for you to go to purchase the books if you haven't already. At the end, you know, I'll discuss this investment opportunity. Of all like my rat schemes, this one has legs. This one has legs. You know, it's not my worst idea, but we're going to save that for the end. So don't just skip ahead for that. Aegeon 7. I ended up like missing like the release of Aegeon 7 for a little bit, and then I heard that Aegeon 8 was coming out like really soon. So I'm like, okay, I'm just going to wait. And I'm kind of glad I did, you know, because then I can just do them back to back, you know, see writers from 7 and 8. I'd say my favorites for number 7, it has to be Tommy. It has to be Escaping Infinity, Song of Siberius. We have Enforcers of the Netherworld. There are a lot of other good ones in there, but I would say these are like my top ones. I would say these are my favorites overall. Yeah, I don't think I'll cover like each one, but I'll probably have something to say for most of them. Planned Obsolescence. This is by Michael Gallo. Michael Gallo, he's an artist that's appeared like a lot in Aegeon. I don't know if like every Aegeon, but like the majority of them, I've seen like his stuff, and I think typically he's an Aegeon like artist. But he's actually he did a little story here about like these microwaves, and they're like building themselves, or you know what I mean? They're like it's weird where they're like putting defects in the machines, which is something I think companies do with like new appliances and shit, because they can get away with it, and then like, oh, the warranty's over, now it's going to break down. That feels legit to me. I know it's kind of schizo, but that feels legit, like something that companies do. But he's typically an artist, but he did one here, and I think he did one 8 as well. And yeah, this one's solid. Then we have, Tommy, AJ Bell, really consistent guy. I don't think he's written something that I've like actually disliked, but right here he hits this sweet spot where most of his stories hit the sweet spot where it works extremely well as a short story, and you can also expand it into like a novel, a novella, something if you chose to, or turn it into a serial or something. But it's this sweet spot where it's not too short for a short story, and there's enough intrigue without it being like too much to where you could build it up, you know. And yeah, Tommy's no exception. He's this troubled kid with a mom and an older sister who don't really care. They're kind of neglectful. His father's not in the picture anymore, and then his mom's got this piece of shit boyfriend. But he finds this guitar, you know, because he does like junking, or he goes to dump. And it turns out this guitar is like a sentient alien life form thing. And it's very cool, you know, because he's going to go on adventures. It's going off into space. And yeah, it's very nice. It really, hits this really nice spot. Okay, Escaping Infinity. We have this female stowaway on board of this ship. We have this unrequited love with our main character. And by the end, like, everyone's dead. And it's sad. It's just like a sad story. There's some unrequited love, and it's good. It's good. So, Song of Sabarius, we have C.P. Webster. He's been around a lot. I think I usually like his stuff, but we have this English guy. He inherits this stuff from his uncle, and then there's this little Greek island, and yeah, there's some like weird Greek mythology stuff, and yeah, cool. Oh yeah, there's this little comic in here, The Zone, which is, it's interesting. It like pulls warriors, it seems like, from just different time periods. And yeah, it's just kind of this bizarre area to be in. Crashland Part 2. This is, I like this one where our astronaut has landed on a planet, and then some of like the plant forms like mimic him. So there's like little plant versions of himself that follow him around, and then there's bigger versions of it, and he's just trapped in this really weird world. And it's interesting. I don't know about the ending, if it can continue, or if it's just, hey, this guy's kind of doomed. I'm not sure. But yeah, that was cool. So special cargo, they're transporting some stuff. And then, of course, something goes wrong with the stuff, you know, because they're transporting like these weird like space worm things. And it's a nice little story. But it's like there's some betrayal. There's all that. It kind of reminds me a little bit of Escape Infinity. I think it's just because they appeared in the same issue, you know, so it's also like a stowaway and like a crew thing and people betraying each other. Ooh, The Moment. The Moment is like we have these weird like kind of aliens, and you know, they're doing this archaeological dig, and they figure out that they are like the dysgenic offspring of some humans that built a colony here. And you know, just having this information is like torture for them, because they're never going to be like the humans that were once there, but they're not quite, but they're sentient enough to understand that. Like at least a few of them are sentient enough to understand that, but that's like a special kind of hell. This is good. I like that, you know, they can comprehend it, but I feel like the truth is so horrible. And if you don't have a way of like correcting it, I don't know if you tell like the rest of your people, I don't know what good that would do, really. Terminarch, we have this like ancient tree, it like eats people and stuff. That's kind of cool. And Forces of the Netherworld, I like this. This is they open this portal to hell to like study it, you know, and then like it's like, they're like watching it through a TV screen, and then like the demons like look over and they can like see the camera, and then some of them just hop through the TV screen, and now demons are out in the world. It's cool. Like I think you could, it works as is, or like I think you could go a little bigger with it. Nowhere, we have this like purgatory train, where I don't know if it's exactly purgatory, right? Because we might be nowhere, we might be in nothing, there might be nothing after this, and that's a little spooky. Then we have some Dream God stuff at the end, and that was Aegeon 7. Aegeon 8, this is the Halloween special. My picks for Aegeon 8 would be like March of the War Giants, that was neat. Angel of Death, Eyes in the Dark, Mechanicals, and the Varkolok of Castle Moga. I know I'm pronouncing that so well. But anyway, we're going to hop into Aegeon 8. We have Count... God, I hate these names. Count Mex Trigonex. Is that French, maybe? But yeah, vampires in space. This crew thinks they found this gold mine. It's not a gold mine, it's a trap, and there's a bunch of vampires in there. March of the War Giants is really cool, where we have these like literal giants get dropped on this planet, and they're laying siege and just destroying everything to try to take out this tower with this guy, and they're like throwing everything at them, and it's really cool. Like just like all the descriptions and like just imagining in your head, it's like really, really, really neat. We have Angel of Death. This is another written story by Michael Gallo, the artist, and This is one where these two guys, this like master and this acolyte, they're performing this dark ritual to try to summon like these evil spirits or this dark god to help them fend off these people who have now like invaded, and they're like the ruling class of their world now. The master has to like sacrifice his student, and then he becomes, an angel of death, and he just annihilates everything. And then he's kind of like, it seems like he's going to be in some kind of permanent hell or some kind of void. Like, not a good ending for him, but it's a sacrifice that he makes. Cancellation Bureau. A guy, he decides to notice some things and then he gets canceled. I found this completely unrelatable. I don't know, maybe one of you would enjoy it, but man, oh man, I'd really like to notice things at work, but I don't know. I don't want to be erased. Don't want to be erased. Maybe that's a problem, but whatever. Mimicry. This is a neat little one where it's this human colony. There was like this war with Earth, or like communications are down with Earth, so they're really stranded out there, and they've kind of had to devolve in technology just to get by. And there's something that's trying to communicate with them, and it's like, is it an alien or whatever the hell it is? It's creepy, and it lives in a well. Yeah, a lot of these are like creepy. I wouldn't say they're like really horror. I don't really like horror, so I was fine with that. But yeah, a lot of these for this issue are like creepy. They're good. They're good Halloween ones. Follower. A man he's followed by this dark figure that he can't really see the face of, and he's driven mad and most likely killed at the end. Eyes in the Dark. Okay, Eyes in the Dark. This guy lives in a pretty isolated area with his wife and his infant daughter, and the wife's ex-husband is coming by because like his wife is now going to leave him to go back with the ex-husband, and she's taking the baby with her. And while this is going on, also some werewolves just show up, and he ends up using the werewolves to take care of his ex-wife and her ex-husband while he escapes with his infant daughter. And it's nice. I wasn't really expecting that. He gets revenge. It's an interesting ending. I thought it was going to be like shucks, dear, and he just kind of accepts what's going on, but he's like, no, he sees an opportunity, he takes it. Mechanicals, another one by AJ Bell, and another one where it's like, very good as a short story, could be bigger, if you wanted to. It really works. But there's like this human robot conflict that happened like 2 years ago or so, and we have this man, he's looking for this human girl, and he's going to like treat with the robots because he has a lead that they might know where she is, because this girl is the daughter of a friend of his. We have this back and forth. We get a lot of like lore. We got a lot of information about the world when he meets like the robot who's going to lead him to the other robots. And the robots aren't just like these cold calculating machines, like they are, but they're also like cruel. They have this cruelty to them. They have like this maliciousness to them, and you see that when he's taken to like the robot courtroom, or not courtroom, I guess maybe throne room is the correct term. They're like, hey, yeah, we found this girl, if you just want to take a look. So he goes and takes a look, and it's this doll in a cage with a dead cat, and he's not sure if they just found a dead cat and put it in there, or if they found a living cat and they put it in a cage and they didn't feed it or give it water. Either they forgot because they don't really think about living things that much, or they know that it needed it and they just like starved it and just they don't care. So it seems like because there's some bad blood between their leader Talos and our main guy's brother, like our Parker's brother ended up killing Talos's brother, and I guess like even though all water under the bridge, that's not really the case, because this was just a big fuck you to Parker. I don't know if it was just to waste his time, as like, yeah, if this was just like a cruel act to waste his time and to get his hopes up that they would find the girl, or if it was, to lure him out there, and then the kids at the end were like with Talos, like the robots, like the robotic kids at the end were always in on it, and they were always going to attack Parker at the end. I don't know, but I like it. Who keeps summoning them? This was weird. Like I've seen this meme online. You're right. It's like girls at sleepovers, let's summon a demon. Boys at sleepovers, who keep summoning them. And that's it. We had a meme that's become its own short story. And it's fun. It's fun. I don't think I've really seen that before. Like, I guess like some green text could come from like a meme, but nothing quite like this. So that was interesting. That was enjoyable. A Weekend at Uncle Andrew's. This is another C.P. Webster story. It's kind of like, another, the 1 in 7, Song of Cerberus. That was a little bit of a haunted house, but this is a lot more of a haunted house, whereas Uncle was involved in like some occult shit. And then it kind of is like haunted house horror thing. I like it. It's cool. He finds like his uncle's journal. And some weird dark shit. And the last one, our cover art, the castle. We have like Nazis end up, finding some vampire remains in this castle they're guarding. And then there's some Romanians that try to help them. And they kind of have this last stand against them. And it's just fun. And that is Aegeon 8. On to Strife and Sublimity. This is by, I'm probably mispronouncing this, but Akromos. Yeah, he looks like he's an artist for the Great Rebellion, that game. I'll probably cover it when it comes out. But this is just a collection of like German Slavic stories that are dark. And our introduction, because we have 9 stories here, we have a little introduction. Some of these stories have like inspirations on like other stories, or they take like loose inspiration from like some stuff. I'd say my favorite is the Prussian Hussar, which is a story about a young German boy during the Weimar Republic, and on his birthday he receives a nutcracker toy that comes to life at night, and he helps him in some things, and it's a nice, sweet little story. Yeah, they're all a little dark, but none of them are like ugly, or some of them are kind of ugly. None of them are like super horrible, right? None of them are like super horrible, but I would say that's my favorite. Yeah. And then we have Sentience. This is we really range in like time periods and where we are. Like sometimes we're in Imperial Russia, sometimes we're like just before the shift to communism, and then like we're in the communist time frame, and then also for the German stuff we hop around a lot in time, but it's all like interesting time periods. It's all interesting. But Sentience, we're in communist Russia, and this widow, she like is very depressed, and then she starts painting, and then she starts doing like morbid paintings, and then she brings her husband back to life. Devotion is like there's this opera house. This girl, she really wants to be this dancer and becomes famous thanks to these magical shoes, but there's a price to those. If any of those sounded interesting, I'd really check it out. I'd really check out Strife and Sublimity and get a copy. I liked them, and we'll just go right in. Some of these are fairly short, like the Stallion was spared, and this is about a boy. He's trapped in like this city where a bunch of plague victims have just been boxed in. This like horse comes up and it gets him out of the city, but it's just too late. We have the Forgotten, where this boy comes in this magnificent looking castle. But it's ruined now. It's just this empty, desolate place. But when he walks through this door, it's like everything is whole and alive, and he's kind of brought back in time. And it turns out by the end of it that he's dead. He's dead as all the other ghosts that live there, right? We have Soil and Metal. This is kind of like a back to nature thing, which I like. I'm not like completely against it. I'm not like super hippie, but we do need to preserve like nature. You know what I mean? Like destroying like a beautiful national forest to create shitty apartment blocks. That's not good. And this is kind of about that. Sentience, so this is probably like the most gruesome of all the tales, and it's not super gruesome. It's not like really gruesome, but this woman, she ends up killing a man and then using that blood to like make a painting of her husband, and then her husband comes back and he's a demon, and then now he's alive, but he like kills people every night to stay alive. And then she ends up having to die at the end to finally, for him to finally be able to be killed. And Prussian Hussar, right. So the boy, he has a very bad life where his father's very ill, but he still gets him this Nutcracker toy, and it comes to life. And it, like the Nutcracker toy, it's like inspired by like I don't know Napoleon super well, but it's one of the German guys that like really like held his own against Napoleon. So that's like what the toy is, right? And the toy can like come to life at night, and he just protects the boy and looks out for him. And his final act is to, when the boy's father dies, is to get him out of the city, and he's now living at this nice farm with this older German couple who are going to look after him, and he's just this toy up on the mantle. And yeah, just very nice, sweet. So in Tallinn, they're traveling on this train, and this doctor has come back from Russia. He was like a prisoner after World War I, and now he's finally free, and he's coming back, and he's going after this man who betrayed him and like killed his wife and daughter while he was away. And that was fine. We have Your Excellency. We're in the Russian Empire, and it's about this higher ranking officer. He's like a young general, and he's trying to win over like the common man. He's trying to be like hey, I'm your boss, but I'm a good guy type of guy. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Like, hey, you know, I'm one of you type of thing. And yeah, no one really likes it. Turns out he is a piece of shit, or like he's done some really bad shit in his past. We have Devotion. And yeah, this was with the ballet dancer and the shoes that she gets. It turns out the shoemaker she was originally like this old shoemaker who gave her these like wonderful, amazing shoes. And then later on, after these shoes have like really sapped her life and given her a bunch of pain, she runs into him on the street, and the shoemaker is now like young, and it's like, ooh, this like weird kind of demonic shoemaker thing. It's like, that was interesting. I liked it. But she has a happy ending, you know, where she's like teaching ballet, and she finds happiness with this love. So it's not like her life's like not over or whatever. And then Unseen, I thought this one was all right. This is maybe my least favorite. I still think it's decent, right? It's interesting, like information, but we're in like Imperial Russia, but the story ends like as like the white and red armies are forming in Russia, like the Tsardom is no more. And it's about like this widow and her young son. They move into this house, and there's the ghost of this admiral in the house, and he's there as this protective force, and he's looking out for them, and he's just teaching them and helping them get by. And it's like, yeah, it's not bad. I would say maybe there's like it's a little stiff maybe here and there with some of the dialogue, but yeah, overall I really like him. You know, this is good stuff. I definitely read more by this guy. You know, I definitely want to check out Great Rebellion and other stuff there. And I really like the cover art for this because, yeah, that has to be from Prussian Hussar, right? He's looking up at the Nutcracker toy. And I really like that. These were fun. These are interesting. What's next to review? I know there's a book by Arbogast out right now. I think it's Emperor on the Mountain or Emperor Under the Mountain. But I'm waiting on the new book from Jordan Allen. I think that's coming out sometime in December. And I wanted to just review Arbogast and Jordan Allen together since they're both like Aegeon Bizarchives people. You know what I mean? Like they're in that same sphere. So I thought I'll just do 2 for 1. So waiting on that. I'll probably review some comics for next week. It'll probably be a shorter video where I cover like 2 like Irish comic things. Hopefully they're interesting. I might have a movie to review. I might not. And my scheme for, you know, my big financial scheme, boys. So I went to a winery with some friends about a week ago. And let me tell you, investment opportunity. There were so many women there. White women love wineries. Boys. It's money and women. Put your hands together. Like, if we pool a little money together, I'm just saying, it's not my worst idea. Getting our own fucking winery, that is a guarantee for a wife. She might not be the most attractive, but if you can go like, hey, I own some of this. I'm a part owner for this place. That's big. That's big. It doesn't even matter, really, if it's not like a fucking hot dog stand. It's like, yeah, I own that hot dog stand. That's big for women. Just throwing it out there. Because, like, they weren't ugly. Like, these women at this winery, they were not ugly. That's not my worst idea. Anyways, keep that in mind. Keep that in mind, boys. You know, let's keep that one in mind. I might have, like, some bigger projects release, something of my own. You know, I'm kind of hoping before Christmas. That might not happen. We'll see. If that happens, I'll have a few videos out about that. And then some stuff to, like, promote it. And yeah, we'll see how that goes. That might happen, it might not. You know, it might get pushed back, which is fine. Otherwise, it'll probably be comics, maybe some books. I might have another like book thing. It just won't be like Arbogast or Jordan Allen. It'll probably be just some other books, maybe a movie. That's kind of what's on the forecast right now. I'm also trying to put together, you know, I haven't done like any video game reviews or whatever really on this channel. Not really. So I might have something about that. We'll see as well. That's it. Thanks for watching. And hopefully this audio sounds okay. I think the problem was I got a new computer, you know, a while ago or a few weeks ago, and it just hums a little too much. I don't think it's like really loud, but it's enough for like the microphone to pick up on it, so I'm sitting away from it. So hopefully this audio sounds okay to you. And there's not the, because that happened in the last Trough video, so hopefully it's fine. Anyways, that's it. Thanks for watching. White Pill Media out.